Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the candidates on the 2024 page on Wikipedia, and these are mostly potential people and people that have expressed interest and declared to intent to run. And there's not a lot of people that have declared to run, but let's go into it. Biden, obviously, don't need to talk about him. I do think he wouldn't be the strongest candidate. I think he'd be a weak candidate, obviously. He is the incumbent president, but I don't think he would be good because of his unpopularity. But a lot of presidents are unpopular at this time and have won in landslides. Obama was really unpopular, I believe, and he had pretty low approval ratings at this time as well. And then he won in 2012, and Ronald Reagan had low approval ratings too. And Biden's are lower than theirs, but not by much. But I do think, some stuff could change, but Biden right now would not be a strong candidate. Eric Adams, I have two things about him. Not a lot of people like him. I don't really like him. I don't really think he's that great. I see him as another Democrat. Just another Democrat. I don't really care for him that much. I don't really dislike him, but I don't really like him. But and also he's only been mayor of New York City, which is obviously a big job, but it's not enough, I think, for the presidency. I don't think that would be a good resume. And I don't think he would really appeal to white blue-collar workers. And I don't think he would win in the South or in Nevada and Arizona. Really, I don't think he'd be popular in those areas either. So I just don't see him really winning at all. Sherrod Brown, I think would be good. He's a progressive, but he's not seen as, I would say, a socialist. I would say. I think he could be a good candidate. I don't know if he would win. That I haven't really thought about it much, but I think Sherrod Brown could be potentially a good candidate. Steve Bullock, he could be a good candidate. He was a governor of Montana, a Republican state, but Montana Republicans. But I think he could win Arizona. I think he could win Nevada. I don't know about the Rust Belt though, but I do think he would win Arizona and Nevada. But the Rust Belt, I think he would win Michigan, maybe Pennsylvania, but I don't think he would really win Wisconsin, in my opinion. He could win it by tilt margin, but I just don't really see Steve Bullock winning the Rust Belt. Well, not all the states in the Rust Belt, but he would do well in Nevada and Arizona, I think. And I don't think he would win in the South, though. But he does have a chance of winning, I think. Pete Buttigieg, I like him somewhat, but he doesn't have a good thing. He's the Secretary of Transportation. And the Secretary of Transportation is not really the best job you can have. I'm not saying it's not important, but, it's not that big of a deal. And he's only been mayor of Indiana, and I don't think he would do well. I think he could have. The only states I see him winning, if he's lucky, would be like Michigan, and that's it. He could win in Arizona, I think. Probably not though. I think he would lose in Arizona, but he could win it, even though he would lose at the end. But I think he could really win Michigan, if at all, and that would be pretty much it. Roy Cooper, I don't really know that much about him. I would say he would be somewhat good candidate from what I know of him. I do think he would win North Carolina, and because he is the governor of North Carolina, and also I think he would appeal to voters in North Carolina and also Georgia. I think he would win in Michigan. I think he would win. I don't know about Arizona and Nevada. I do not know about that, but I do think he would win some swing states, and I think he could be somewhat a good candidate. Andrew Cuomo, he would be a terrible candidate. He has don't want to get this video banned. He had a whole scandal. We all know about it. Most of you guys watching probably know about the scandal, but he is obviously not that good. He's disgraced Democratic governor. I don't really see him I don't like him at all. He is a disgrace to the Democratic Party, and I do not like him. And I do think he would do terrible. I haven't seen him winning many. I think he even lose New Hampshire, which is a swing state, but usually he goes to Democrats. Maybe even Minnesota, but I just don't see him being a good candidate. I don't see him winning any swing state. Kamala Harris, I think, is like Biden, but I think she would be worse. Not a lot of people like Kamala Harris. I used to like her, but I don't really like her that much anymore. I don't know, I just feel like as vice president, she's not doing that greatest of a job, even though I did support her, but I don't know, I like her personality though, but I just don't really like her. I don't know. I just don't think she'd be a good candidate. I feel like a lot. I feel like Biden. Oops. I feel like Biden would even do better than her. Her approval ratings are lower than Biden's as well, and I just don't see her doing a really good job. Jay Inslee, don't know a lot about him. I don't think he would do well. Governor of Washington, period. Not that great of a candidate, I would say. Didn't do well in the primaries in 2020 at all. I think that was him. I forgot. I think it was like this other guy from Washington. I don't remember. But yeah, I don't think he would do very well. AOC, I feel like is Bernie Sanders, but I feel like a lot of voters see her less appealing. I don't think she would win Arizona and Nevada. I don't think she would win Georgia or North Carolina. I don't think she would win any of the Rust Belt. I could see her winning New Hampshire, and that's pretty much it. I feel like she would scare a lot of white voters, Hispanic voters, and some black voters I don't think would like her that much. I think she's smart. I like her somewhat, but I think she's too radical for the party right now, and I don't think she's the best, strongest candidate for the party. She is seen as that crazy liberal that yells at people on Twitter and vapes or whatever, like just like a classic liberal millennial, and I don't think that she would do well. I honestly do not know a lot about her, so I'm just going to skip on her. No offense to her. Gina Raimondo, I don't think she would be good. She was governor of Rhode Island. No one really knows about that. And she's Secretary of Commerce, and no one has, except for Herbert Hoover, but obviously he was be a good choice because the economy under the 1920s and Coolidge administration was good, but no one heard about her. I don't think she'd be a good candidate. She is under the Biden administration. That would hurt her. And she's just not that well known. I skip on him. Don't know a lot about him. I just don't like him from just that face. Bernie Sanders, I do think would do better. I think he could win Michigan. And he could maybe make Arizona and Nevada more competitive. Maybe. I don't know if he would win those states, but I think he would make them more competitive. But I do think Bernie Sanders would not. I would say I'll put Bernie Sanders in the middle. He is really old though, so that would be a major issue. People talk about how old he is. He would be 80 something, and that's a big deal. And I just don't think he'd be. I think that would scare off a lot of voters. Kristen Sinema, she might win Arizona and Nevada, but everywhere else, I don't see her winning. I forgot what I did. I made a prediction about her versus Donald Trump. I'll try to put that in the card up above, but I don't really know if she'd be a good candidate because she is more moderate, but then she's also wouldn't get that much progressive voters out. But fun fact, Kristen Sinema was actually very, very liberal and was a major, she was the most liberal person you would ever meet in the 2000s, but changed. She actually has an interesting story. Nina Turner, I don't know that much about her. I think she's like Bernie Sanders a little bit. She did campaign for him. I don't think she would do well. I don't think she would win the Rust Belt. Not any white voters at all. Not the South. I don't think she would just win at all. Ralph Warnock, I like him, but I don't think he would. He wouldn't. I don't see him winning any Rust Belt states. He would obviously not win Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin just would not go. Michigan and Pennsylvania would be his best shot. He would not do well in Arizona or in Nevada. In Georgia and North Carolina, if he loses the Senate seat, which I hope he doesn't, but I think Georgia will be very competitive this year in the Senate race. He will run against Herschel Walker, which I do not want to be Senate. I do not like him. I do not want him to be senator, but I don't think he'd be a strong candidate. And if he loses the Senate seat, I don't think he would even think about running. I don't even think he's thinking about running. Gretchen Whitmer, I really like Gretchen Whitmer. I think she's a good candidate. I don't know why. I feel like Michigan's close to me in my Minnesota, even though they're not really, but it's another Midwestern type-ish state. I don't know what I'm even saying. But I like her policies. I like her. I think she's a good governor. and I think that she would win the Rust Belt. I think she would not win Nevada. Well, she might win Nevada. She might win Arizona. I do not know though. She might. I don't think she would win in the South. I think she. Well, I think she could win Georgia, but I don't think she would win North Carolina. But I do think she'd be a really strong candidate overall, and one of the best maybe. Maureen Williamson. No, no. So now we're at the Republican Party. These were all Democrats. And also, I forgot to say, these are potential candidates. They have not said anything about running or any interest and declined to be president. So I'll say these were still. Actually, yeah, let's do these before we go to the Republican Party. Stacey Abrams, I love her. Think she might do somewhat well, but I feel like she wouldn't do well in states like Nevada, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Could do well in Pennsylvania. I think she could do well in Michigan as well. But it really all depends. Andy Bashir, he would be a very good candidate. Is a very progressive Democrat, but he acts like but he makes it in a way where he appeals to everyone, which would be a good candidate. Because I feel like most Americans support progressive ideas, but they don't want to be a crazy liberal, I guess, if you may. So I think Andy Bashir would be a good candidate to appeal to that group. And independents. Cory Booker, I think would be Cory Booker. He would be. I don't really know. I think a little bit below average, but not by much. I'm not trying to be biased. I love Hillary Clinton. I don't think she'd do that well though. I want her to run in 2024. I love her. I want her to be president, but it's probably not likely to happen. I want her to run so bad. Ro Khanna, I don't see him running for president anytime soon. I think he can. I think he'd be a really good candidate to take Dianne Feinstein's seat in 2022 or 2024. I forget when she's running. But whatever year Dianne Feinstein's next, I think it's probably this year, re-election. I think it's this year. If she retires, I think that's probably 2024. It's 2024, sorry. But I hope that he never. I just hope he will take Dianne Feinstein's spot. Bill Maher, yeah, good choice. He didn't say Joe Manchin. I could have seen him running against Biden, but if he said no, no. Phil Murphy, no, he almost lost a New Jersey governor election, and so that's not good. Don't see him. I don't think would be a good candidate. Michelle Obama, she could be somewhat. I think she'd be a little bit above average, not by much. Jared Polis, I think he would not. I don't see him running at all. J.B. Pritzker, terrible candidate, just a rich billionaire governor from Illinois. Elizabeth Warren, she's trying to be Michelle Obama and Bernie Sanders at the same time, and I think she's somewhat annoying. I don't like the whole thing about her saying she had of Native American descent, because even though she's not. Even if she had some DNA, I don't think she should say that, but that's unrelated. But yeah, that's Democrats now. The Republicans, obviously, well, there has been one candidate that has exploring a candidacy. His name is Corey Stapleton. I think the biggest. I don't know a lot about his policy. I don't think anyone really knows about him. He's the Secretary of State of Montana, so I don't really see him winning. Maybe I don't know a lot about him. That's my main issue. So I don't want to say anything about him, but I don't think he would win just because of name recognition and what I know of him. I do not know about his policy, so I'm not just going to say that much. But yeah, Christie. Okay, well these people right here have expressed interest in running for president. Okay, Christie. He's a terrible candidate. Democrats don't like him. Republicans don't like him. Independents like him. He would appeal to no group. He's really not a good candidate. I can only see him winning some very moderate Republicans. And that would be it. And anti-Trump Republicans. And that's it. The Trump base would hate him. They would not vote for her. They would vote for like a third-party candidate or not vote at all. But Christie would not be a very good candidate. Ted Cruz, I don't like him. Who likes him? No one likes him. I don't think he'd that be good of a candidate. I just don't like him. I don't know. No one, he's just annoying. No one likes him. He just looks creepy. Like, come on. Would you want this man at your house? Would you want to invite him for dinner? Would you want to see him at vacation? No, you don't. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was be a very bad candidate for the Republican parties. She is very radical. She actually spoke at a white nationalist rally. She said she did not know it was one, and I'm still confused about how you don't know it's a white nationalist rally, but she is a very terrible candidate. She, Republicans voted against her. She is a very radical candidate, and she will not be that good. Sorry. Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan, I don't think he'd be a good candidate over Biden. I somewhat like him. He's pretty cool. More anti-Trump Republican. He is the governor of Maryland, so he kind of has to be when you think about it. But maybe he might want to do something because he cannot run for governor because there is a term limit for how many times you can run in Maryland. So maybe he would run for president because he has nothing else to do. But I don't think he would be that strong of a candidate because he would not win the Trump base. He's like Chris Christie, but Larry Hogan would do somewhat more better than Chris Christie. I don't know a lot about him. He did say he might run even if Trump is running. I don't know a lot about him, so I won't say that much. Adam Kinzinger, I think he'd be a good one. He is a more moderate person, and people like him. And I think he could run. Maybe he could. He is only a U.S. representative to go though, but he could be a good candidate. Mike Pence, he would obviously after January 6th, the Trump base hates him, and the only thing I could see him really winning is the establishment, some establishment Republicans, and that's not. I don't even think a lot of those. And Donald Trump, I think, would be a very good candidate. He is going to win Rust Belt voters, white voters. He would win a lot of swing states. He will. A lot of people like him, and yeah. And now that is enough. All these candidates have expressed. Now these are people that could run, and have been speculation of them running, but they have not said anything. Greg Abbott, I don't think he'd do that well. He might win, but not that well. Marsha Blackburn, I could see her doing pretty well. Tom Cotton, I think he would win. Some independents, and I think he would reunite the Trump base and establishment Republicans, and I think that could make him a good candidate. Ron DeSantis, one of the best candidates for the Republican Party. I think better than Trump because he's more likable than Trump in some ways, and he is loved in the Trump base as well. And I do think Ron DeSantis would be a very good candidate to appeal to independents. Doug Ducey, I think he could do somewhat okay. Nikki Haley, better than Ron DeSantis because she could appeal to the Trump base, to establishment Republicans, to independents, and maybe even some more. But I think she is barely better than DeSantis. They are basically the same, but Nikki Haley is slightly better, I think, in my opinion. Will Hurd, don't know a lot about him. Mike Pompeo, no, not really. Marco Rubio, I do think he might. I don't really know. Marco Rubio, I don't think he's not that. In 2016 and stuff in that time, he was more of a famous figure in the Republican Party, but I do not think he is one anymore. I don't think a lot of people would be interested in him. I think I've said this a lot in other videos where I've done live streams with other people like election forecasting, the political chatter, etc. But I keep saying Marco Rubio's chance was in 2016 and he gave it up. Maybe I think if Clinton won in 2020, she could have been a candidate in the primaries. But maybe he could run for president. He would beat Biden. I feel like a lot of these Republicans would beat Biden. Almost, except for Marjorie Taylor Greene, Chris Christie, Larry Hogan maybe, and Mike Pence. Actually, not Mike Pence. I think most of these people, even though they might not be the best candidate, they would beat Biden. Except for some obvious ones like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Chris Christie. Also, most of these I think would all beat Biden for the most part. Don't know a lot about him. I'll skip. I don't know that much. Chris Sununu, I think he would do pretty well. I think I'll put him a little lower than Haley and DeSantis just because of the Trump base, and he's a moderate governor of New Hampshire. So I do not think that he would do well but I do think he'd beat Biden, but I do think he'd do well. I think he'd do pretty well. And Glenn Youngkin, I think what he did, I feel like he should be governor, maybe 2028. I don't see him in 2024. But, his strategy was a really good strategy in Virginia, and I think that's good. And declined to be candidates for the Republican Party. Tucker Carlson, the worst scenario. Liz Cheney, bad candidate. That guy, I think he would not do that much well. Johnny Ernest, somewhat well, but not that much. Just an average Republican for 2024 against Biden. I don't like him, but I think he would do somewhat well. Christie Noem, I don't see her running. Maybe she could be Trump's running mate, though. I see that as a possibility. Dan Patrick and Mitt Romney, I like him or respect him. I agree with him on some policy, but not a lot. Paul Ryan, yeah, no. When was the last time you heard someone say Paul Ryan? No. Rick Scott, yeah, no. Tim Scott, he would be good, I guess, but no. But these all have declined, and Ivanka and Scott Walker. Yeah, Scott Walker should not be on there. And, independents, so they had Andrew Yang, which, he obviously wouldn't win, but, he could take a good amount of votes from Biden. And Kanye West would be bad. Howard Stern was on there. I think they took him off. And Dwayne Johnson, yeah, those I don't really know. Dwayne Johnson did endorse Biden in 2020 though. But that's what I think on all the candidates on the 2024 presidential election page. Tell me who you want to run in 2024. Is there anybody that you wish they would add to this? I hope there are some people I want to run. I want Hillary Clinton to run. Tell me what you guys want in the comments down below. Also, I have COVID. So yeah, I'm really well. I got vaccinated, so I'm feeling great though. So I'm not really scared. Also, COVID is not as serious right now, so I'm doing fine. I think I'll recover fast. I have a pretty strong immune system. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you guys come again soon. And please subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching.